Hello, everybody, and welcome to day 7 of our 7-day Come Back to the Mat Yoga Challenge. So you've made it to the end of our week together. Congratulations. I hope you've been enjoying this movement practice and adding a little bit of mobility to your day. Today we have a joyful flow. So we're going to be going through some postures that we've been practicing throughout this week, just finding a good rhythm for us today and finding what feels good in our bodies. As always, you don't need any props, but if you would like to grab a pillow or a blanket just to support your knees, maybe to get cozy on your mat, whatever it is you need today, go ahead and go get it and bring it with you today. So we're going to start seated on the mat. So just coming into a cross-legged position, pressing both sit bones into the mat, and elongating your spine here, having a nice posture here. We can go ahead and put our hands in our lap or out on our knees. And we're just going to go ahead and slowly bat those eyes closed, bringing our attention to our breath. Let's go ahead and take a big inhale here just to sigh it out. Letting go. We'll find our Ujjayi breath when you're ready. Settling into the mat here. Inhaling and exhaling through your nose. Being all that breath comes into your belly. Good. Let's go ahead and bring one hand to our heart, one hand to our stomach. Just feeling that flow of energy, the flow of our breath here. Before we get started with our movements, quieting the mind. If at any point throughout this practice your mind starts to wander, you can go ahead and just come back to this breath, focusing here. When you're ready, you can slowly drop those hands to your knees, maybe opening your eyes here. We're going to take some seated cat-cows today. So we're going to inhale to bring our chest forward, looking up above us, curving that spine. Exhale, we round and curve, looking towards our belly button. Breathing here, moving with our breath. Just noticing how you feel. Maybe you'd like to start taking circles one way. Moving your shoulders, making circles with your hips. Just trying to work out any little kinks you might have in your body today. Let's take those shoulders to the other side. Moving into circles in the opposite direction if you haven't already. Good. Let's go ahead and find a tabletop position together. So we're going to come to a neutral tabletop, pushing those hands into the mat under your shoulders, and your knees are in line with your hips. Coming here. We're going to go ahead and extend that right leg behind us, and let's just tap into it, rocking back, opening up those hamstrings. Breathing here. We're going to go ahead and lift that right leg high, lift that left leg out in front of us. Imagine someone's pulling us from the front, pulling us from the back. As we inhale, we're going to exhale, crunch elbow to knee. Inhale, we come back out, looking forward. Exhale, we crunch elbow to knee. Inhale, we come out, looking forward. Exhale, elbow to knee. Last one, we're stretching out, Dropping that left hand down, dropping that right knee down. Maybe taking a cat-cow just to refresh. Syncing breath with movement. When you're ready, we'll come back to our neutral spine, setting up here. We're going to bring that left foot out behind us, dropping into that back left heel. Opening up through the hamstrings here. Breathing here. We're going to lift our left leg high, bringing our right arm in front of us. Let's go ahead and stretch on an inhale. Exhale, we crunch. Inhale, we're stretching everything out. Exhale, elbow comes to knee. Curving that back. Inhale to come out. Exhale, we round and curve. Last one, we're coming all the way out the way we came. Dropping that hand, dropping those knees. Let's come back into our extended child's pose. So bringing those big toes to touch, sitting onto our heels. We're going to drop our chest down, stretching out our arms in front of us, dropping down to our forehead. Breathing here. Sinking deeper into the mat. We'll go ahead and slide through onto our bellies, setting up for a Sphinx pose. So I'm going to keep my legs in line with my hips to support my lower back today. I'm going to press my forearms and my hands against the mat. My pelvis comes to press the mat. I'm going to inhale to lift. Open up through that chest. Open up through those shoulders. Breathing here. Exhale, we're going to drop that head down. Keeping your hands where they are, we're going to push into those hands, coming back to tabletop position with our arms stretched out, tucking our toes under and dropping our hips back to come up, finding a downward facing dog. It's the first downward facing dog of our practice today. So we could just go ahead and pedal out those hips, those knees, those heels moving here. Maybe we bend those knees, dropping that chest closer to the thighs, bringing those heels closer to the mat, opening up through your shoulders, breathing here. Let's go ahead and look forward. We're going to make our way to the front of the mat so we can step, jump, or hop those feet in between your hands at the top of the mat. Finding our forward fold here. Maybe bringing our hands behind our ankles. Inhale to halfway lift, flat back position, looking forward. Exhale, we're going to drop everything down, releasing those hands, and maybe balancing here. Releasing any thoughts that you don't need, letting everything sink into the ground or the mat beneath you. Maybe we grip opposite hand, opposite elbow, moving left, moving right, just bouncing that torso up and down here, letting that head go, releasing any tension in your neck, breathing here. On our next big inhale, we're going to slowly come to standing position. The last thing to rise will be our head. Awesome. Let's find a strong mountain. So we're going to bring those hands out by our side, opening up through our chest, tucking that pelvis under, breathing here. We're going to inhale, those arms come up. Exhale, we're going to drop our chest to our thighs, coming back into that forward fold. Inhale, we halfway lift, looking forward. Exhale, let's drop both hands to the mat. I'm going to bring my left leg back, dropping down on my left knee, untucking my back left toes, and I'm going to inhale up to my low lunge. Breathing here. Spread those fingertips wide. Sink into those hips a little bit deeper. Exhale, we're going to drop those hands, tuck those back toes under. My right leg is coming to meet my left, plank position here. Let's lower down to our belly. And we're going to come up to a cobra. So pressing into those hands, pressing into those feet. We're going to inhale, opening up the chest. Looking forward here. Breathing. We'll exhale that forehead back to the mat. Tucking those toes under. We can come through tabletop and make our way to downward facing dog. Let's take a few cycles of breath here. You always have the option to rest in that extended child's pose if you would like. But we're going to stay here in downward facing dog just for a few breaths. Before taking the same positions on the opposite side. So you're going to raise your left leg high. Bring your left foot in between your hands, dropping down on that back right knee. We'll inhale to come up strong, low lunge. Exhale those hands, come down. We're going to tuck those toes under, coming to our high plank here, dropping down to our belly, inhaling up to our cobra. Finding a flow that feels good for you. And playing in these postures, taking any movement you need. We exhale to bring our head down. Tuck those toes under, coming back, tabletop to downward facing dog. Breathing here. Inhaling and exhaling through your nose. Let's go ahead and raise that right leg all the way up. Big stretch here. We're going to bring that right foot in between your hands. We can drop down on that back left knee, or we can squeeze into the midline to come up. High lunge. Looking forward here. Strong posture. Breathing here. Let's drop those hands down by our side. We're going to step that right foot to meet the left, dropping down onto our belly, untucking those toes, pushing into our hands, coming up, cobra. Breathing here. We drop our forehead to the mat, tucking those toes under. You can come up through tabletop like before, or we can push strong into our high plank and taking us back to our downward facing dog. Let's take our high lunge on the opposite side. So we're going to raise that left leg high in the sky. That left foot is coming in between your hands. Maybe you help it to the front of the mat. Maybe we drop down on that back knee, or we squeeze in through the midline to come up. High lunge. Looking forward. Breathing here. Let's go ahead and exhale those hands down, stepping that left foot back, meeting in a high plank here. We'll drop down to our belly. Inhale up, pushing into those hands. Cobra. Exhale that forehead to the mat. Tucking those toes under. Maybe pressing strong through your hands, coming to plank. Making your way to downward facing dog. This is our last downward facing dog, so let's really make it count. Pedaling out those knees, opening up through the chest. Drop those heels even lower to the mat. And I encourage you to find a bit of stillness here if you can. We're going to take 3 more cycles of breath here. Inhaling And exhaling through your nose. Looking towards your belly button. Pressing evenly into both hands and both feet. We'll go ahead and look forward. We can step, jump, or hop our feet to the front of the mat. Let's exhale into our forward fold, lifting those hips up high. Inhale, we halfway lift, flat back position. Exhale, we drop down just to let it go. And we'll take one big inhale, looking up to our hands. Exhaling those hands down to our side. Strong mountain here at the top of our mat. Good. Let's go ahead and open our feet as wide as the mat. We're going to sink down into our hips, coming to our yogi squat here at the front of the mat. Opening up through your elbows, straightening your back as much as you can, sinking into those hips. We'll look forward here before we drop back down, using our hands to support us if we need, and coming to rest on to our back. We've made it to the ground here. We only have one more posture to do, and we're going to take it to a supine pigeon. So I want you to bring your left ankle over your right knee. Bring that right knee up to your chest. Thread your hands under your thighs, interlacing your fingers behind you. And we're going to push that right knee closer to your face. And that left knee wants to come out. So that left knee wants to come away from you, and your right knee wants to come towards you. We can stay here, stretching out that back left glute. Or we can straighten that right leg up to the sky. So flex your feet to support your knees, pushing your leg a little bit closer to your body. Your full lower back is supported on the mat. Breathing here, release any tension you have in your neck or your shoulders. Let's take one more big cycle of breath here before we drop that right leg down. Unlace your hands, dropping your foot to the mat. We're going to switch to the opposite side. So my right ankle is coming over my left knee. I'm going to bring my left knee up to my chest, interlacing my hands behind my thigh, bringing that left knee closer to my face, and my right knee wants to push outwards. So there's this opposing energy. With my full lower back supported on the mat, I can go ahead and raise my left leg, flexing my toes. So that's going to help support your knee. Bringing that left knee even closer to your face. Your knee wants to kiss your nose. Breathing here. Just observing the sensations in your body. Stretching out this top left leg, your right glutes. Wherever you are, taking one more breath here before dropping that left leg down, dropping that left leg to the mat, unlacing your hands, dropping your feet to the ground. Maybe you can drop your knees left and right, taking any final movements that feel good. And we're going to end this practice today in a savasana. So stretching out those legs, taking up space, stretching out those arms, closing your eyes here, and taking a moment just to be proud of yourself. You did it. 7 days of yoga. Congratulations. If you have time, I invite you to stay here in a savasana. But if not, thank you so much for joining me in today's practice. I hope you enjoyed day 7 of our 7-day challenge. And until next time, bye-bye.